Hello, everyone. Please be seated. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Lonnie Wagoner, the president of the Student Forum and a member of the class of 2024. I would like to welcome you all to the 2024 Baccalaureate commemoration. Today, we are gathered together to celebrate the graduating class of 2024. You will hear from seniors who were chosen by their classmates to reflect on this rite of passage and their time here at Union. You will also enjoy musical performances and a contemporary ballet dance from our students. We will begin our celebration with a faculty speaker who was nominated by the students of the class of 2024, Professor Ellen Gasparovic. Professor Gasparovic is an associate professor of mathematics and has been teaching at Union since 2016. Please join me in giving her a warm welcome.
Good afternoon, President Harris and the class of 2024, together with your loved ones. I'm so thrilled to be here and so grateful to have this opportunity to talk with you today. Baccalaureate is such a special event. And I have to say, you are a really special class. I mean, look at you. You're leaders and researchers, athletes and Fulbright scholars, artists and engineers, first-gen students and children of alumni, writers and Posse scholars, Watson Fellows and activists, valedictorians and those in their Jean-Ralphio era. The list just goes on. When I lived in North Carolina for graduate school, go Tar Heels, my future husband and I, who also happens to be a math professor here at Union, what's up, Professor Jerrigy, would occasionally be volunteer belayers for children's birthday parties at a rock climbing gym. We would then get to climb for free for the rest of the day, which was goals for our cash-strapped grad student selves. I remember we were talking to a parent of one of the birthday kids, and she asked us what we were studying. When we said math, she put her hand on my arm and said, "Well, God just makes all kinds." Now here you are on the precipice of graduation, and you truly represent all kinds of amazing. And I would bet anything it wasn't all smooth sailing to get to this point. Baccalaureate is a time to reflect, not only on your years at Union, but to go back even further than that and reflect on all of the challenges that you have faced in your life that might have felt insurmountable at times. Maybe start back in middle school. How was middle school for you? When I was in middle school, this was in 1995, a group of girls used to make fun of me. And I remember at one point, they told everyone in my class that I still played with Barbies. They would call me Barbie girl. Do you know what I told them? I said, you know what? In the summer of 2023, it will be an honor to be called a Barbie girl. No, but it was an important time in my life for learning how to use humor to diffuse tough situations, as well as for developing inner strength and resilience. Our life experiences teach us that it's not just about bouncing back from adversity. It's about cultivating our capacity to endure and to grow in the face of challenges. Speaking of resilience and overcoming adversity, class of 2024, you displayed a staggering amount of resilience during your senior year of high school. Your sense of normality came crashing down around you in March 2020. You had to deal with fears of this unknown new illness and ridiculous Zoom classes and lockdown isolation. You know what my biggest adversity was in my senior year of high school? I grew up just down the road from here in Latham. And when I was driving to school on a particularly icy day, I hit the brakes, my car skidded on an icy patch, and I just cruised right into the vehicle in front of me, which happened to be a school bus filled with kids from my high school. Yeah. I got out of my car, and I just heard, "Hey, Ellen. Hi, Ellen. What's up, Barbie girl?" No, thankfully. The school nurse was driving in around the same time, and she told the principal of my school what had happened. This was a Catholic school, mind you. And so on that morning's announcements, the principal said, "Please pray for Ellen Gasparovic, who was in a car accident this morning." When I got into school, all my friends said, "You're alive, oh my God." Class of 2024, you may or may not have hit a school bus in your day. But throughout your years at Union, you have encountered obstacles, both academic and personal. You have weathered storms of doubt, moments of uncertainty, and setbacks that tested your resolve. Yet through it all, you persevered. You rose to the occasion, undeterred by the hurdles before you, and you emerged stronger and more resilient than ever before. As you stand on the threshold of this new chapter in your lives, I know you will carry with you the lessons of resilience you have learned here at Union. I know you will remember that no challenge is insurmountable, no obstacle too great to overcome. And I know you will embrace the journey ahead with courage, conviction, and an unwavering belief in your own potential. My 5-year-old son, Thomas, who some of you know, strongly suggested that my speech today should be about his favorite show, Bluey. And I would be remiss if I didn't take his advice. So here's a little story. There's an episode of Bluey called Granddad, where Bluey's mom, Chili, is leaning her head against her dad's shoulder as they watch her kids playing on vacation. Chili says to her dad, "I remember when you used to take me here when I was young. That was a long time ago." And her dad said to her, "No, it was yesterday." Class of 2024, it feels like just yesterday that your Union College journey began. And here you are about to bid farewell and embark on the next chapter of your lives. My wish for you is that you do so with the knowledge that you are capable of overcoming anything that stands in your way. For it is in the moments of adversity that our true strength is revealed. Congratulations on all that you have accomplished, and congratulations on how very far you have come. May your journey beyond Union be filled with love, laughter, resilience, strength, and boundless joy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Gasparovic. The Garnets are one of 3 a cappella student music groups on campus. They are an all-treble group, meaning they only sing in the treble clef, which refers to higher voice singers. They participate in competitions and sing at multiple events around campus. The Garnets will be performing "Slipping Through My Fingers" by ABBA, arranged by Chloe Metcalf of the class of 2023. Thank you, Garnets. We have 4 students who will be speaking today. They are all graduating seniors, and they auditioned before a student committee to be chosen to speak to you today. Our first student speakers are Lily Mihailovitz and Tessa Thomas, also known as the twins. They are always seen together and rarely seen apart. Lily is a double major in neuroscience and Spanish and Hispanic studies. Tessa is a neuroscience major with an interdepartmental minor in chemistry and environmental sciences. Please help me in welcoming Lily and Tessa.
Thank you, Lonnie.
My name is Lily Mihailovitch.
And I am Tessa Thomas. Union College Class of 2024, faculty and staff, family and friends. It is an honor to be standing here today to celebrate everything that we've accomplished during our time here.
From the first moment we stepped foot on this campus, not only did we encounter the difficult transition every college student faces, but also the additional struggles the pandemic created.
This is what makes our class so unique. We were able to persevere and overcome the obstacles of COVID. While we all come from different backgrounds, our resilience unites us.
So what is it that truly brings us together?
Lily and I met on our very first day at Union. We live down the hall from each other and have been roommates ever since. I would argue that we are seen together more than we are seen apart. Despite the masks and social distancing, we created a connection we are sure will last a lifetime. We are confident in saying that everyone graduating here today has found this type of relationship throughout their time here.
Exceeding the physical boundaries of campus, we have always continued to support each other as we each explored our distinct academic interests. For instance, in the summer of 2023, it was not my family who picked me up from the airport after my internship. I arrived at baggage claim, and there stood Tessa with the giant poster.
Or when I dragged myself home at 2 a.m., exhausted from a long day in the chemistry lab, only to be greeted by Lily and a delicious dinner she made for me.
Although I have to admit, I did have some help from a few friends in Delta Phi Epsilon.
We never could quite separate our friendship from Union College, so naturally, we drove back, side by side, in 2 different cars on the Mass Turnpike for every trimester.
And I am so glad we did, because I was very unpleasantly surprised by a flat tire halfway through our journey.
While we know not everyone will be a part of our journeys after graduation, we will still cherish these relationships because we know they have formed us into who we are today. Take a moment to think of that one or few people whom you have formed a close bond with, whom you never would have thought 4 years ago.
Think back to the first moment that you met. Treasure it. That was the start of a prevailing friendship. This is bigger than the 4 years we have spent here in Schenectady, New York. What is it then that allows us to characterize ourselves as resilient?
As a class today, everyone can reflect on the hardships that this pandemic brought with it, specifically as new students. College is not just a place of academia, but of community, and more than anything, Union College has shown us that those who surround us will impact us throughout the rest of our lives.
Everyone here can attest to the fact that you are unable to leave your room without seeing a familiar face. It is guaranteed that there will be smiles greeting you every single day. Whether this be a quick chat before class at Woldbucks, a bright conversation with staff in Reamer, or meeting a teammate in Schaefer Library to study, you can never be alone on this campus, which is what makes Union College a home away from home.
We are sure that any one of us graduates will be able to overcome any obstacle the future throws at us, thanks to the resilience we have all acquired throughout our years here. We're all placed in the same environment 4 years ago, yet we embarked on our own unique paths, only to all end up in the same place.
Moving forward, we have the tools to take what we have learned into the next chapter of our lives. There is nothing uniform about our journeys, but Union College has given us a shared uniform of garnet and white, for which we are forever grateful.
We are the class with no formal high school graduation, and therefore, no experience with closure at the end of a chapter. Today, we have the opportunity to celebrate not only our academic, athletic, and various other achievements, but also our perseverance throughout our college years. Continue to shine and embrace anything that life throws at you, because the people sitting next to you today will always be rooting for you from the sidelines.
It has been an honor to be your peers. Thank you, Union College, for bringing us together. Congratulations, class of 2024.
Thank you, twins. Our next performers are Alexandra Niklas and Maya Carty. They are both active members of Union's dance program for all 4 years, in addition to their majors and minors. Alexandra is a biomedical engineering major with minors in electrical engineering and mathematics. Maya Carty is an environmental science major with minors in mechanical engineering and dance. They are members of the Edinburgh Ensemble, which performed in Edinburgh, Scotland at the largest arts and dance festival in the world. They also both performed in all of the winter dance concerts and took numerous classes in the dance program. They will be performing Pieces They Take, choreographed by Alexander Niklas. Our third student speaker is Anthony Bezzetta. Anthony is a biology and psychology ID minor in the Leadership in Medicine program. He is the former president of the Theta Delta Chi fraternity, a member of the Psi Chi Honor Society for Psychology, and a member of the Order of Omega for Greek Life Leadership. Please help me welcome Anthony.
Thank you. When I think about Union College's class of 2024, I think of the word close. Approximately 4 short years ago, we all came to this campus amidst a time that none of us had ever experienced because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Between the twice-weekly mandatory COVID tests, masking regulations, and having to show that green checkmark thingy at the few in-person classes that we had. All of us were moving into a new environment for the first time, unsure of how college was going to go. But because we all came to Union during those interesting times, we had no choice but to be close to each other. We couldn't go out on the weekends, the dining halls were close to the seating, and we could only have 4 people in our dorms at once. Half of the campus wasn't even in Schenectady. So our source of friendship was with each other and our class. And because of this unique experience that no other year had, the only thing we could do was grow extremely close to each other. The friends I made in the first year are still some of my closest friends today, trying to have fun at Union while also trying to avoid getting caught for being in the same room with too many people gave me some of my fondest memories during our time here at Union. And yes, President Harris, I can now admit that I may have broken some rules during my first year. COVID rules, you know, they were pretty bad. I now have friends in so many different groups in our class because we all bonded over the experience of trying to navigate the start of our college careers in a drastically uncertain time when we didn't even know if we would remain on campus for more than 2 weeks. But we got through it and have made the past 4 years truly count. Because we saw what life was like without the enjoyment of being together, we relished every opportunity to spend time with each other, make memories that would last a lifetime, and grow closer to each other than any other class at Union ever has. Things taken for granted by students in different years, like hanging out in Wold, getting food at Upper, or just going to class, were unique chances for us to have an everyday life. And once we finally returned to normalcy, we definitely made the most of it. My time at Union, while it started off being defined by COVID-19, quickly turned into so much more. I used the opportunities afforded to me by this school to grow intellectually, culturally, and socially. As a leadership and medicine student, Union College gave me the tools I need to succeed in medical school and as a future physician. And through the LIM program, I got the chance to study abroad in Europe, which opened my eyes to the world beyond these gates. The time I spent with my friends while playing cards in our apartment, narrowly making our planes back home from weekends in other countries, and putting our lives in jeopardy on those sketchy Ryanair flights, and I mean sketchy because bouncing a couple times on the runway before the plane stopped was never a fun experience, and that happened more than once, are all memories and moments that I will get to cherish forever. Joining a fraternity, becoming its president, and forging close, lifelong relationships with some of my best friends were all because of Union College. My answer is always the same when people ask me where I go to school. I go to Union. It's a small liberal arts school in the Northeast with about 2,200 students. And I usually receive the same response every time. Oh, that is really small. Do you like that? That's more like a high school than it is a college. And to be honest, yeah, Union is small. We knew that when we came here. Our classes are really small. The last biology class I took had 8 kids in it, so of course my professor knew every single time I skipped class. And I don't know if Professor Yukulevich is here, but if he is, I apologize. It was only like 3 times a week. But things like that make Union memorable to all of us. Because it's so intimate, we got to know each other so well. I can always find people in Reamer, at a game, or really anywhere on campus. And that's what makes Union, Union. There's always something that you can do with your friends to enhance your experience, make memories, and just enjoy being a student here. And after 4 years of taking all this in, we have arrived at this moment, to commencement weekend. This weekend signifies our transition into the world. We will apply the skills that we learned here at Union to our lives outside of the place that we got to call home for so long. And while that may sound scary, we have been well prepared for these new experiences and challenges that will arise once we leave here. So I'll end with this. As we embark on our individual journeys beyond these walls, I wish to hold on to the camaraderie and connection that we have forged during our time here, continuing to support and uplift one another as we navigate the paths ahead and be just as close tomorrow as we are today. Thank you, Union, for my memories and experiences, the skills and education that you have offered me, and most importantly, some of the best and closest friends that someone could ever have. Thank you endlessly, and congratulations to Union College's class of 2024.
Our next performer is Rafael Murillo. He is a double major in mechanical engineering and music. He stayed a fifth year to complete both majors, which shows a remarkable commitment to his music in particular. He will be performing El Son de la Negra by Mariachi Vargas. Please join me in welcoming Rafael and his band. third student speaker is Ashley Herman Soto, who is a political science major. She was the co-president of the Black Student Union, and she served on their executive board for 4 years. She worked in the Intercultural Affairs Department, and she is a Posse Scholar. Please help me in welcoming Ashley.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ashley Herman Soto. There was a little typo in the little program, so the name of my speech is 4 Years to 4 Seconds, A Journey of Belonging. 4 years became 4 months, 4 weeks, 4 hours, and finally, 4 seconds. In those fleeting seconds, we stand at the threshold of our futures, on the brink of a journey that has transformed us in ways we've never imagined. As I look out at the sea of familiar faces, I can't help but reflect on this incredible journey that has brought us to this moment, a profound journey of growth, resilience, and belonging. For many of us, this journey began amidst the comforting embraces of our high school walls, where faces mirrored our own. Each day was a familiar echo of encouragement from parents and peers, a sanctuary where we felt understood and supported. However, as we stepped into the grand tapestry of college life, we found ourselves in a world where everything and everyone looked different. Entering college felt like immersing ourselves in a painting filled with new colors, a beautiful orchestra of diverse voices, and experiences that amazed and motivated us. The transition was like a leap into the unknown, leaving behind the security of the known, and venturing into a realm of independence where we were told we were all alone. Yet, let me assure you that notion couldn't be further from the truth. Yes, we may be forging our own paths independently, but we were never truly alone. We discovered a village of support within Union College that has been our guiding light through the highs and lows of our academic journey. It's more than just finding a place in a classroom or lecture halls. It's about the friendships that become family, the connections that become lifelines, and the sense of belonging that transformed Union into our second home. Here, amidst the towering pillars of knowledge and learning, we found ourselves not just as students, but as integral threads in the vibrant tapestry of the Union's community. One of the pivotal figures in my college journey has been my mentor, Drew Alves. From the first day we met, Drew's presence exuded warmth and unwavering support. His office, adorned with books and mementos from his own academic journey, became a sanctuary where I found not just guidance, but a sense of belonging. Despite having a family waiting for him at home, Drew showed up for his students time and time again, a testament to his dedication and passion for nurturing young minds. Drew's mentorship transcended the conventional boundaries of a mentor-mentee relationship. It blossomed into a bond akin of that of a father. He was there for me through every milestone and every stumble, from my first D on an exam that left me disheartened to my first and only academic alert that shook my confidence. Drew didn't just offer solutions. He listened, empathized, and helped me navigate the complexities of a college life. His impact had extended beyond academic challenges. When I took on the role of facilitating my first group for the first time, it was Drew's encouragement and belief in my abilities that gave me the confidence to lead effectively. Even as I received the acceptance letter from my master's program at Boston University to pursue higher education, it was Drew's voice echoing in my mind, reminding me of the potential he saw in me long before I did. To Drew and all the mentors in the room tonight, I say this: we see you, we thank you, and we need you. Thank you for allowing us to stumble and fall, for it is in those moments that we truly learn and grow. Thank you for lifting us when we needed it most, for believing in us even when we doubted ourselves. Thank you for holding us accountable and keeping us motivated, pushing us to reach new heights and embraces. Let us never forget the village that helped us grow, and remember that we are never truly alone. Belonging is not just about fitting in, it's about finding a place where our differences are celebrated and our voices are heard. It's about creating spaces where every individual feels valued and empowered to thrive in. In this journey, we discovered that asking for help is not a sign of weakness, but a testament to our strength and resilience. Congratulations, class of 2024. We may only have 4 seconds left in this chapter, but it will continue to unfold with endless possibilities. Here's to the next chapter filled with new adventures, challenges, and triumphs. We are more than ready. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. Our next musical selection is from the student group, the Garnets, who will be performing Magnolia by Laffy. This piece was arranged by Annie Cavalluzzi, class of 2027, Becky Perkins, class of 26, and Ashley Wright, class of 26. Now it is my great pleasure to introduce the 19th President of Union College, President David Harris.
Good afternoon. Class of 2024, congratulations. It's my pleasure to welcome students, faculty, staff, family, and friends to this baccalaureate celebration. Let me begin by acknowledging the hard work of the people who planned this event and those joining me on stage. It starts with Michelle Angrish. She's in the back there. She's our Vice President for Academic Affairs, our Dean of Faculty, and her team as well, especially Carol Mangano, who's around here somewhere as well. They were the core of making this happen. Thank you so much. I thank Lanny Wagner for doing a great job as always, being our MC, keeping us on track. To our faculty speaker, Ellen Gasparovic, thank you. As well as our four student speakers, Lily, Tessa, Anthony, and Ashley, who each shared reflections. They shared words of wisdom with us today. And last, but certainly not least, thank you to our performers, to Alexandria Maya, to Raphael, to the Garnets, the Dutch Pipers, organist George Schiller for filling this campus with beautiful dance and music on this and many other days. Now, before I share my yes, they're great. And I would just tell you, part of what I enjoy so much about Union is the diversity. So pay attention. Did you pay attention to the majors of these people who were doing these things? That's a Union student doing so many different things and doing them all well. So before I share my reflections with the class, I ask you to join me in remembering the alumni, the faculty, the staff we lost over the past year. It's only fitting we remember our colleagues here in Memorial Chapel, which was built in 1925 to honor alumni who lost their lives in wars. It's the names you see behind me. And it now serves as a memorial to all deceased members of the Union community. I ask you to review the remembrances, which are on page 3 of the program, and join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Class of 2024. It's a real pleasure to be with you on this special weekend. Commencements are a time of mixed emotions. Really excited to celebrate you, to see you as graduates, and look forward to the next chapters in your lives. But we're sad, and I'm sad, that I won't see you around this campus. I won't see you in Reamer, on the sports fields, on the stages, and just on all those paths that lead to the knot and the quick exchanges we have as we walk by. Your class is special. You are the class that helped Union College bounce back from the COVID-19 pandemic. Because as I said in a video earlier this week, you had the courage to say yes to Union even before we knew what your experiences would be. While we were busy recruiting you in the spring of 2020, we were having senior leadership meetings and board of trustees meetings, and a lot of them, to try to figure out how are we going to navigate this global pandemic. There was no playbook to look at, and much of the information we needed to make sound decisions was simply not known to anyone. How dangerous would it be to bring students, faculty, and staff together on a campus? If we reopened the campus, would students, faculty, and staff even come? How would months or more of being remote affect the college's culture, affect the college's budget, and what would the long-term implications be? We spent months working on plans, together with faculty, staff, and students, who met many times each week to review data and directives and propose the best paths forward. And on June 30th, it was kind of fun looking back through all this stuff for the last few days. On June 30th, we put out a message. And that message told you what our plan was. It was called Union Where You Are. It was the first indication you had of what you'd actually committed to. We said, faculty and students, you have a choice. You can choose to be remote. You can choose to be in person. What we knew was that we couldn't know what was best for each of you, that we had to give you choice, we had to provide flexibility. But at this point, because you know you're almost graduated, we're telling all sorts of secrets, aren't we now, at the end, right? We got one more day, so maybe we should be careful. So the little secret is that that plan about what your experience was going to be, that plan was written in pencil. Because you see, what we were doing is we're making the best decision we could by June 30th. Because we had to tell you what the plans were so you could start planning. But I was not going to bring you back if doing so meant that you'd be unsafe. And if information arose in the interim, we were going to go remote. Set a deadline in early August. We said, let's keep reviewing information. That was the latest we were going to cancel in-person experience. for the fall of 2020. I recall that morning well. I talked to a member of my senior team yesterday just to check to see if her recollection aligned with mine. And what I found is that the magnitude of that decision, it stuck with her as well. You see, here's what we were doing that morning. We were looking at data as individuals and as a group. We're trying to figure out, if we brought you back, how many people would become infected with COVID-19 and how many would die. That's what we were doing. And of course, the benefit of hindsight, we know the answer. A lot will become infected on campuses across the country, and very few will die. But in August 2020, we didn't know that for sure. We decided, based on everything we had in front of us, that the risks were low enough that we felt comfortable proceeding. You see, on that day, we confronted uncertainty. We responded together. And so, your college experience began. It began with restrictions designed to keep you safe, restrictions that no Union College class has experienced before or since. And a trigger alert warning for you, because I'm about to say some things you may not have thought about in a while. We had optional singles, we had masking, we had 6 feet of distance, and this is the tough one, we had hotels for isolation and quarantine. We knew these conditions were harsh. We were worried about how harsh some of these conditions were. But I hope you understand that we were doing what we thought was best to try to keep you safe and give you a college experience. I appreciate that for the most part, you and your families trusted us. You didn't always agree with what we required, and as we were reminded, you didn't always comply. But here's the other secret. We were kids once. We knew you wouldn't all comply. But we knew enough of you would that it would work. Together, we found a way to keep one another safe, to build community, enable you to find and pursue who you wanted to be as college students and as people. So for that, on behalf of the senior leadership team, I said thank you, class of 2024. Now, as I prepared for this weekend, I reflected back on my convocation address on September 8th, 2020. You see, this was at the very start of your college career, and I looked back and I was wondering, what did I tell you was going to happen? I did this because I believe in the power of reflection. I told you a bunch of things. First, I told you that the year ahead would require unparalleled commitment, flexibility, patience, and goodwill. I said it's going to require that we follow health and safety protocols at all times, not just for a few weeks, and not just when it's easy to do so. I spent a lot of time laying out details of a plan called A Healthy Union Starts With You. It was that important to try to keep you here in person. But then I said that the safety requirements are necessary, but they're not sufficient for your college experience. Our goal was never to survive the myriad challenges COVID-19 presented. Our goal was to achieve our shared vision for you in college, for you to achieve your individual goals for your one and only college experience. We had to remain focused on what motivated us before any of us had heard of COVID-19. I also talked about 3 specific goals, and just a quick highlight. 1, I talked about DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion. I said we had to act with wisdom, empathy, courage, and impatience to change Union, not so that it's unrecognizable, but so that it recognizes fully and equally the preferences, passions, and contributions of all who call this campus their home. I talked about the importance of us achieving the full potential of a distinctive academic offerings, the union of the liberal arts, engineering, computer science, and also about us realizing the full promise of a residential education model. What you've learned, what will help you in life, is a lot of what you learned in class, but I bet when you reflect, you're going to realize a lot of it was what happened outside the classroom as well. The competencies you developed, the experience, the wisdom you developed. So how'd it go? Well, I'll leave that to each of you to answer for yourselves, for the college, but let me share a few thoughts on how it's gone the last 4 years. Part of what I've learned through our focus on reflection is the power of 6 words. It's the power of using just 6 words to try to capture an experience. So I spent a little time thinking about it. What are my 6 words to describe this class and their experience? confront uncertainty, respond together, grow, repeat. That's what I've seen you do. From the spring of 2020 through today, you confronted the inescapable uncertainty of a once-in-a-century pandemic. You said yes to union when we couldn't tell you what you were saying yes to. And once you arrived on campus, you built community through masks and a distance. And you've heard it from our student speakers today about how they built that community. You figured out how to respond together to find your way at union, and you grew from this experience. And you repeated it again and again. You did so with your classes, with your teams, your performances. When relationships were challenging, you relied on each other. With jobs you pursued, you supported each time, you challenged, and you celebrated one another. How do I know this? So I've been with you on this journey. I've seen your Steinmetz presentations. I've seen your performances. I've seen you at Prize Day as we celebrated you, the athletics competitions and awards. I was at the senior dinner and wine and cheese. I was just blown away by how many of you attended those events, how close you were to one another, and how much I saw people moving from group to group. It was clear that despite the restrictions we had in the beginning, you had become a class. You were a community. But I also know, because I have the privilege of knowing aspects of your individual stories and your journeys through union, the highs and the lows. So through this event that's sitting up here, you may have noticed me looking around. You wonder, what's that guy doing? Well, I'm remembering the experience. I see you, I remember things throughout. Usually what happens at this event is I sit right here, I see you, and my memory is triggered of when I met you and when I met your families at Admitted Students Day. But I didn't have that experience today, because you weren't here at Admitted Students Day in March and April of 2020. Instead, for you, I'm sitting here thinking about a very unusual, but appropriate for the time period, interaction I had with a union admitted student, one of the first admitted students I can remember meeting. You see, in the spring of 2020, my family, 3 daughters, wife Ann and I, our dogs, we spent a good chunk of the spring, good chunk of the summer on Cape Cod. Here's more secrets. Those videos I filmed, I was often there, wearing shorts and a sport coat that you couldn't see. I was shooting them all above, right? Well, one day, one of my daughters said, let's go get some pizza. We're excited, things were reopening a little bit. And she looked on Yelp and other places on the web and found this great place, Moto Pizza. Ordered pizza. It was only then, when I said I'd go pick it up, that I realized, this is like pretty far away. This better be good pizza. So we put on our masks, we drove over, we arrived, it was curbside only. Put the windows down, put our masks on. The person walks out, she's masked, she has our pizza. She walks up to the car and she says, are you the president of Union College? I was quite surprised, because, I was just hanging out in the Cape getting some pizza. And I said, yeah, I am. And she said, oh, well, I've been admitted to Union College. I think I might go there in the fall. I saw her on campus in the fall, was excited, and she later told me that she couldn't visit colleges, the colleges she was admitted to. She'd seen the video I did online, so Matt Malatesta here is our VP Admissions Financial Enrollment. Videos work sometimes, apparently. She'd seen my video. And then there was this guy named Harris who'd ordered a pizza who had New York plates. She said, what the heck, let's give it a shot. She said she took it as a sign from the universe that maybe she ought to go to Union College. I was reminded of this unusual story on Prize Day as I sat here and saw her come up for 4 awards. I was reminded of that again when I saw our salutatorians and saw her there. So Lainey Fryer, I'm glad you took a chance, brought the pizza, asked if that's who I was, and came to Union College, because you and all of you have confronted uncertainty. You've responded together, you've grown, and you've repeated. Like generations of Union alumni who preceded you, including tomorrow's commencement speaker, and like those of us in senior staff who had to develop that plan in the fall of 2020, you will confront uncertainty again and again throughout your lives. But you know what, folks? We've prepared you to lead with wisdom, empathy, and courage in ways large and small, now and across tomorrows. You're ready. And so, class of 2024, you will forever be known as the COVID class, the class that selected Union and matriculated at the height of the pandemic. But because of your not today COVID attitude, because of your resiliency, because of your clear understanding that college and life are team sports, you'll be known as the class that's not defined by the pandemic. You are the class that thrived despite the pandemic. Class of 2024, congratulations on a job well done. I'll see you out there tomorrow to shake your hand, to congratulate you on your Union College degree, and joyfully close the loop from those virtual admitted student days to your first days at Union to your very first day as a Union College graduate. Now, I say the following every year, and I don't think many students listen to me, so let me try again. I hope you have a good evening. But remember, tomorrow morning, and we got good weather, but nonetheless, you're going to be sitting out there in the sun for a couple of hours. Plan your evening accordingly. Congratulations, folks.
I would now like to invite the Garnets back to the stage to lead us in with the Ode to Old Union. The words can be found on the back of your program. Please join in.